Hello and welcome to another quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix. This one of Conway, a game about step into the year 1791 as a freshly enlisted sailor aboard a merchant ship. You cast aside your former life to chase your dream of life on the open sea, which, from personal thing can be both boring but also, I don't know, a little bit romantic. It's weird, Though in those days it probably would have been, it was extremely tough. I've read books about it. Anyways, with the abundance of free time aboard your new home, your choice of how to spend your days rests solely in your hands. Immerse yourself in the lives of your fellow crew members, delving into their motivations for joining this voyage alongside you, and discover the roles they play in your life as the journey continues. Conway is a relaxed, semi-linear, and, to the best of our efforts, historically grounded slice-of-life story. There's no epic battles, nor destiny to fulfill, and no swashbuckling adventures under the Jolly Roger. Instead, you find yourself forging friendships and intimate connections with a cast of unique characters as you sail from port to port on the high seas. So settle in and get comfy and make sure to take your vitamin C. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on a ship in those days. You had to wipe your ass with a rope. Okay, I can't say but. So anyways, before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, then you can go to their Patreon, where it's, let me just check right here, $6 a month, but there seems to be a bit of a discount. Also, before we start, if you want me to do Let's Play of this game, then tell me, and I'll give it a point which will put up higher on the user's choice list. Also, if you have any other games you want me to do quick looks of, quick looks, or Let's Plays, then tell me, and I'll add it to the thing. Also, I guess we might put it back up a bit, just a smidge. So, with that out of the way, let's reset our face. And start. Also, I guess it was also kind of smelly on those ships. This game contains explicit woos. If you disable them. Maybe if we do Let's Play series of them. Ooh, there's text. Nice. Might as well disable explicit images. Oh, wait. Disable. I can read. The game may contain visual and descriptive scenes of depicted physical injuries. These scenes are not intended to linger or glorify for shock value. They simply are meant to depict some of the realities of working on the ship during the time period, and should be suitable for most players. If you prefer, you can have these scenes toned down. While these scenes are included for narrative purposes, we'll do our best to navigate around them. For instance, your character might look away, or leave the room when these scenes occur. Now, YouTube's completely fine with blood and guts. And lastly, you can hide or unhide text boxes at any point by hitting the H, for hentai. Today's the day, your final moments on dry land before beginning your life at sea. It seems surreal. It's only been a week since you left the farmstead you grew up on, and yet it almost feels as if a lifetime has slipped by. The uneventful journey along the rugged path from your humble village to the vibrant port has ignited something within you. It seems like the past week has been the most thrilling of days of your 20-year existence, and they're only the start of the adventure yet to come. I was gonna say we're old, but I guess if we're not a commissioned officer or something like that, or something along those lines, then, because I guess those guys, that would go up through the ranks would tend to be on the ship at 7 years old or something? At last, that's what you keep telling yourself, or at least. Beneath the tumultuous excitement in the surface, a lingering anxiety sits heavy in your stomach, keeping it tense. Nerves and fear intertwine, casting doubt on the sudden life change. Yeah, because in most places you could just, yeet away from your job or move somewhere else. When you're on the ship, you're on the ship. Especially if, it's a military thing. Ship masts start to come into view, emerging from nearby rooftops as you approach, their stark, looming presence against the morning sky, only serving to amplify your emotions, further unsettling your stomach as you turn the corner onto the bustling main road, which leads straight into port. Maybe skipping breakfast today would have been a wise choice. The coastal breeze kicks up, giving you the strongest hint of salty air yet. Another reminder of what you're so close to doing. A new life on the deck of a ship, surrounded by endless miles of ocean. Are cats really made for life at seas? Or on the seas? As you traverse the bustling thoroughfare leading to the docks, a familiar aroma of the nearby fisheries fills the air, the scent of fresh seafood intermingling with the salty tang of the sea, a pungent reminder of the lively nature of this core of the city. I always find that so weird. It's like, ports to me stink. Maybe not all of them, but like they tend to have this kind of fishy smell or salty smell. Salt's alright, but then when you're at sea, it's like, oh, I don't smell it anymore. Maybe it's because you kind of get used to it, I guess. The path is adorned with an array of shops and stalls, each proudly showcasing their own bountiful catches for the day. Their colorful displays of fresh seafood entice passers-by, while diligent merchants busily prepare for the gathering crowds. As the path nears its end, a smaller shop gives way to grandeur structures that house shipwrights and shipping companies. These sturdy buildings stand as beacons of industry, eagerly accepting work from any ship that takes port. Of course, no port town is complete without a share of dockside taverns, and this bustling city is no exception. The closest tavern echoes with boisterous shouts and drunken songs, drawing in sailors and locals alike. As you pause near the tavern, you finally get your first unobscured glimpse of the ships. You have a direct view of the awe-inspiring vessels that gracefully ride the gentle roll of the sea. Among them, one is about to become your new home. This is the very beginning of a grand adventure you have been dreaming of for years. Out of the way! Out of the way! A slurred voice commands as a burly otter emerges from a tavern, shouldering his way through the crowd. Lost in your thoughts, you find yourself rudely knocked to the ground by the shove. The sudden impact jolts you back to reality, quickly reminding you of the chaotic nature of port life. Yeah, people on ships do tend to drink a bunch. I know that's like sometimes when people would be leaving port to drink a bit, but then definitely when he got back to port, there was quite a bit of drinking involved. Like sometimes we'd go there and would have like a couple of pints or something, and then other times there would be people who was like, oh, you are shit-faced. Which would make handover, basically telling the people that are coming on the ship what's happening and what to do next. To, like, sometimes they wouldn't even come to the ship. They'd just, fuck off somewhere and we'd be like, oh, we have to work on this stuff. But anyways. A groan escapes your lips as you climb back to your feet. The otter is already lost in the crowd. Just another sailor with one too many pints in him, too early in the day. A sight you are growing accustomed of in your new life. Any lingering frustration from the fresh bruise on your shoulder dissipates as you break through the dense crowd and reach the water's edge. Your eyes widen in awe as they fixate on the magnificent ship docked in front of you. A fully rigged beauty adorned with 3 majestic masts. I know the first image was moving a little bit, but for some reason I feel like the second one would, but it doesn't seem to be. Because ships. Masts soar above high above their deck. The meticulously carved and painted lettering across the stern proudly displays the name of the vessel, a name that signifies a place that is about to become your new home. Conway. Yeah, the name of the game. The name that fills you with the same sense of passion and adventure that brought you all this way. A name you yearn to utter with pride in the days to come. You silently rehearse it within your thoughts, savoring each letter as it swirls and dances in your mind. C. O. Sorry, I was like, It has a nice ring to it. What are you doing here? Once again, you're startled by from your hazy daydreams of your mind, instantly turning to the source of the bellowing voice. It's a hoss. Before you stands a towering horse clad with tight-fitting blue uniform, his hair tied back into a neat knot behind his head. He looms at least 3 heads above you, forcing you to tilt your head back to meet his piercing gaze. You hear me? We're on a tight schedule, and the last thing I need is some idiot getting crushed by a crate because he's gawking at the ships. So, the horse snorts heavily. Get out of the way. You're left feeling helpless as you stand there, unaware of the problem at hand. You finally grasp the situation when you instinctively look up and notice a crate suspended in midair, connected to a sturdy dock crane. Yeah, that was another thing. You don't stand under crates. I haven't seen one drop, but I did see one that was like cracking stuff. It's like, ooh, you wouldn't want to stand underneath that because that's a good ton of something of eggs or milk or something like that would crush you. And I also, actually, I'm going to keep that other thing confidential. A group of workers eagerly awaits the crate's arrival on the ship, while others work diligently to guide it from the ground, with you in the way. Exclamation marks. You quickly scurry out of the way of danger, sheepishly watching as the crate is carefully lowered to the men on the ship. Great, not even on the ship yet, and you've already been made a fool of yourself. Easy now. Slow it, a bit more, and down. Now, keep it slow and steady. Slow. Damn it, I said slow. Are you deaf? She's not your white. Treat her gently, you son of a bitch. Reluctantly, you approach the horse again, sure that he must be the one in charge, and now he's barking orders. Sorry about that, sir. I'm new. One of the new recruits signed up to join the Conway. Could you tell me where I should be? The horse doesn't seem to have heard you, or care. His attention is focused only on his work. Keep an eye on every barrel and crate coming from the nearby warehouse and heading for the ship. Frustrated, you clear your throat and try again in a louder tone. Sir, I'm here to join... Yes, I heard you. He's quick to interrupt you, sparing only a moment's glance in your direction before his booming voice shouts at someone near the warehouse. Jeffrey! We're 2 short. Get those first. Got it, sir. The horse turns his attention back to you, narrowing his gaze in a deep scowl. You're one of the new ones? Great. How about you don't get in the way every chance you can? I'm really sorry, sir. I'll be more careful in the future. The horse snorts, clearly unconvinced. His steely gaze lingers long enough to make you squirm before he pulls out a leather-bound book and leafs through the pages. That's officered to you from now on. Got it? Arthur Hudson. What's your name, recruit? I don't see clueless fool in here. James. Well, shit. You weren't even joking. James arrived and checked in. But, is there another James? Get up there and weigh at the 4 recruits. You'll be instructed after the loading's done. I think 4 is front? Because there's like, port is left, starboard's right, bow is front, stern is back. Navigating around the busy crewmen, you cautiously tread upon the unsteady gangway, feeling it sway beneath your feet with each gentle roll of the sea. You proceed cautiously, each step measured and deliberate, as if the slightest misstep could send you tumbling into the water. You can't help but feel the crew's eyes on you, perhaps amused by the new recruit's struggle to simply walk. Finally, your feet find solid ground as you step on deck, a wave of relief washing over you. It may not have been the smoothest start to your first day on the ship, but you reassure yourself that confidence will come in time. This is, after all, what you've always wanted. Oh, that's a truck. I thought it was like, why is there that sound on the ship? Regain your footing on the stable deck. You stride purposely towards the foremast, mindful of the instructions given to you. Best to avoid any further trouble that could come from sightseeing. Focus on your tasks. You navigate the ship with purpose, eager to prove yourself in your new role. Surprisingly, you spot two others already waiting in the designated spot. It takes a moment for you to put it together. More crew, more new recruits just like you. At least they look the part-ish, or the one on the left. Oh, they have wagging tails. The one in the back, a weathered wolf in his mid-30s. Oh, so me. Actually, yeah, same black fur. Is that me? Bears the marks of time and hardships on his face. Lost in his thoughts, he flicks a coin with practiced ease, catching it repeatedly, absorbed in deep contemplation. You can't help but wonder how he, at this age, became one of the ship's new recruits. The other figure, a youthful lizard, appears much more suited for the role. From the looks of it, he couldn't be older than just about 20, if even that. From his spot, leaned up against the mast, the lizard lets out an inquisitive gaze focus on you, a faint smirk tugging at his lips. I guess greet him? Aye. Would you look at that? A cat. Not to be at each other's throats immediately, are you? Not going to be at each other's throats. Oh. Hadn't planned on it. You two as well? The wolf simply nods. He didn't seem to be the catty type. New landsman, yes? Julian. Sure, it will be great to working with you. Yar, I'll be talking like this from now on. Pleasure's all mine. Anyways, can't wait to be scrubbing the whole ship with the two of you. Julian's smile curls up adorably across his reptilian smile. He seems he found your little icebreaker rather amusing. Searching for a way to keep the conversation going, you suddenly gesture towards the crew members who are busy loading the ship. I can't believe how they work. I think I'd be lost just trying to make it from here to the warehouse. It's like a well-oiled machine. All the crew working together and knowing exactly what to do. No wonder they wanted us over here and out of the way. I bet most of the crew are seasoned vets. It makes sense, they work so smoothly. Did you hear? Some guy must have gone their way a bit ago. Could hear the screaming from up here. Oh, yeah, I heard. You're thankful not everyone saw the commotion you caused earlier. You quickly hope that Julian doesn't pry any further, allowing the incident to fade into oblivion. It feels strange just sitting here while everyone works, though. It does, doesn't it? Feels like I'm just a passenger, I guess. Your words nudge Julian towards a new topic. Passenger, huh? You ever been on a ship before? Never. I've dreamed of it, but I was tied to my home until now. But I have to admit, I'm excited. Julian seems surprised by the revelation. Guess it's not every day a new recruit has never even seen a ship before. Really? Well, you're in for something then. It's not for everyone. Hope you get your sea legs quick. Not your first time sailing? Few trips here and there. Dad's in the Navy, so I grew up with it all. Just never done anything this big. The Navy? Unsurprising, you ended up working on ship as well. Not the first time I've heard that. Must be in my blood, huh? Better hope not to get seasick immediately. I can't promise I won't laugh if I see you hurling off the edge of the ship. Julian just comes with a mischievous glint in his eyes. Thanks for being so supportive. I'll fetch you a bucket. That enough support? The wolf's deep voice interrupts the conversation from behind you, drawing your attention. You glance over your shoulder to see him still engrossed in his coin, its polished surface gleaming in the sunlight, as he expertly, yeah, it's weird that sometimes I can't read words, flips it through the air. Very kind of you. I think I'd like to assume I'll be fine. Don't need yet another thing to worry about. Time will tell, though. I'm sure you'll be fine. Hopefully. Julian leans in, clasping a hand on your shoulder in a friendly gesture. So, if you've never been on a ship, what made you sign up? Let me take a wild guess. Running away from farm life? Julian's long reptilian tail gracefully sweeps across the deck below, or in a slow, deliberate movements, waiting to see if his assumption was correct. You can't help but frown. Was it really that common? Lucky, I guess? I didn't think it happened that often, but yes, I wanted a chance to see the world. The tales from sailors passing through my town were always so thrilling. I guess I just need to see something other than this town. Feeling self-conscious and trying to think of a way to put into words. The way the ocean always seemed to offer an escape for you, how boxed in your village was, save for the endless expanse of sea. Nothing seems like it will satisfy the two, and you decide to demur even so slightly. Maybe that's childish of me. When to get out and see the world, you mean? I suppose. Yes, it is. Oh, ignore him. You try, although you nuance your explanation with a shrug, so that you don't have to seem too vulnerable. It was this, or working on the farm, and somehow considering that life to yourself makes it the rest easier. I'd hate myself if I didn't try it. I'm sure it's not all laughs and the friendly company. The wolf doesn't raise to the bait. Julian, however, smiles affably. As long as you know that before you start, you can always return if you find out it's not for you. Sure, it's still a leap into the unknown, that's all. Maybe I'm just worried it won't work out the way I'd hope. That sounds childish too, once you say it out loud, but you can't help but casting one last, slightly wistful look at the harbor. I wonder how long this trip's supposed to be, because, like, what? They could be months, years? If you're, like, if it's from, like, England to France, it's like, what, days? If it's around the Mediterranean, it'll be, like, maybe not around the Mediterranean, but, like, weeks or something like that. I think it's across the Atlantic, that's, like, months, and if it's, like, circumnavigating the globe, or, like, something like that, it could be years. Or a year, you know. All that security, everything I've known, you'll be leaving behind to spend. To spend God only knows how long with sailors like these. It worked out for you, though, right? You don't seem to have any trouble. He gives you a quizzical look. Trouble? Nerves? Things you're leaving behind? People who might miss you? He grabs a leather strap of the bag that you realize must contain all his belongings. Everything he has left in the world, just like you. But he twirls it idly in his hand, then shakes his head decisively. Oh, no. Nobody? Well, fine, yes. Either he realizes that's not enough of an answer, or he suddenly decides he wants to tell you more. People will miss me, and I'll miss seeing the friends I grew up with. But my father has worked on ships all his life, so what do they say? Salt water in your veins? Well, in a sense. He lets go of the bag and stands up, stretching his arms widely. It was only a matter of time before I'd follow in his footsteps, I guess. Ah, yes, of course. The Admiralty is, no doubt, in this one's illustrious future. Hey, who knows? He seems to do a better job than you, not letting the wolf's personality get to him. Or maybe he takes it as a challenge, because his next question is directed at the canine, as he makes his way over to him. What about you, anyway? What's your story? The wolf looks at him with an openly baleful expression. My story? Yeah. His thick tail follows his movements with each step he takes, like the dancer's ribbons, as he makes his way over the mast and past the wolf. Money. Money? That's it? That's it. You could have earned money here in town, you know. And I didn't, did I? Maybe I should have asked for a bonus. Being interrogated wasn't part of the description. It's all in the job description. It's hardly an interrogation. I'm curious. Really not going to get you to tell us anything about you, are we? Rather than answering, he flips a coin into the air. He catches it effortlessly, rolling it down between his fingers. What about your name? Will you at least tell us that? He pauses, looking at you, poised to flip the coin into the air again. Wolf. Oh god, he actually is my name. Because, like, my character's name is Dark Wolf. Because I'm not very imaginative with names, and I'm from the 90s. You can't be serious. No way your name is just Wolf. And yet, here we are. My parents weren't the creative type. Fuck. I'm gonna sue these people because they stole my character. Next he's gonna have, like, scars on his shoulders and chest. Though he doesn't have an eye scar. I'm joking then. How's that? I don't either, but surely they didn't just call you Wolf. What's the point, ask me, if you aren't going to listen to the answer in the first place? Wolf. He repeats it, clearly unconvinced. They saw a wolf fall out, and it was the first thing that came to their mind. What more do you want? Silence ascends, as you and Julian both try to decide whether he's being serious. Finally, he flips the coin again. This time, though, he doesn't catch it. The coin glints briefly, catching the light before it disappears into one of the folds of his white shirt. Rather than acknowledge the missed toss, he simply fishes it from his shirt, then shakes his head scornfully. Whatever. Apparently. He leans the other way to get closer to you, whispering so that the wolf, can't hear him. Weird guy. Before you can answer or ask whether or not it was safe to bet that Wolf's hearing wasn't that good, Arthur makes his way forward to join you. Hello, ladies. Ooh, ladies. The three of you get up, and you try to stand at something like a military attention, greeting properly. Arthur takes a few seconds to quietly survey his new recruits. Well, enough sitting around. We're almost ready. We'll be leaving port shortly. You take one final look from the ship down in the harbor. Once more, the realization begins to sink in. This will be the last time you'll see this place for a long time. That was the thing. Watching land disappear from sight, or even more, something, watching it come into view. You could always, tell when you're kind of close to shore because there'd be somebody on their cell phone on deck. because it's like, we got cell phone reception again. And then, like, you'd see a whole bunch of people, and I'd be one of them. Because, hey, I'm not going to use the ship computers to look at Furry or YIF. But, yeah, when at sea, it's like, yes, when I get myself, it's like, yes, I'm going to go on Furry and look at YIF. Because I'm a degenerate. Or, you could bail out now. Like Julian said, turn back, or you still have the chance. No. You can't just go back. You chose this for a reason, and you're not going back out now. The ship is your home. These odd characters are your companions. As you watch the two sailors begin to close the heavy wooden door, Arthur speaks up again. You may be new, but I expect the same discipline and dedication from you as it would any of the others. The whole deck rattles as the door slams shut, with the finality you always associate with the jail door closing. Which side of the door are you on? You're not certain, but with a boyish smile, you realize you certainly don't feel like a prisoner. Even if some might argue that you are. Is something funny, sailor? You straighten up further, to the limits of what you would have thought possible. No, sir. You sense that this might not be sufficiently persuasive. You clear your throat. I'm just happy to be here, sir. He fixes you in a stern gaze, sizing you up. This isn't a day's sailing on your master's yacht, son. And that goes for you, too. Arthur directs this at Julian, who remains impassive. Even if you don't know why, he might have been singled out. We may not be on board a warship, but the lives of others are going to depend on your diligent work. I expect you, all of you, to take it seriously. All three of you will be under my command. Whatever I tell you to do, you'll do, without question, without hesitation, and without doubt. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Julie and the wolf echo the same, alongside you. If not I, then whoever I delegate in my stead. I do not have time to nursemaid you. Is that clear? Again, the chorus of yes, sir, in unison, certainly more disciplined than you feel. The chain of command is your god now. Whatever you were before, you'll be sailors soon enough. With any luck. The three of you remain motionless and stiff as Arthur looks you all up and down. If the horse feels optimistic, or disappointed, or nothing at all, you can't tell. His expression is impassive, stern, authoritative. After a long spell, he decides he's had enough of this inspection and steps back. I'll find someone to teach you once we've left port. Until then, grab your belongings and follow me. Wade nods to his bag sitting next to you. You hurry to grab yours, everything that remains of your previous life. Arthur has turned with a crisp, precious movement, and heads towards the stern of the ship. He's walking quickly, as are Julian and Wolf. You hasten to catch up, falling in line with the others, as sailors around you finish last-minute preparations. It's an otter! A sailor makes his way up the gangplank, just before it's pulled up after him, carrying a leather-bound book and a few dozen letters in hands. He approaches Arthur. The horse stops and returns to salute the sailor offers him. At ease. Your report? Everything and everyone's on board, sir. The surgeon? He gives a short, sharp nod. Yes, sir. Regia came aboard this morning. She said she'd found what she needed to continue Mr. Blackbarrow's treatment. Some good news, then. That should ease everyone's minds. Anything else? Final message from source, sir, and most recent soundings. They're still dredging the main channel, unfortunately. Also, I guess, like, back in these days, like, a surgeon could be, like, an actual surgeon or doctor, but they could also be, like, just anyone with a toolkit. Because, you know, life at sea's hard. I'd swear, they'd be faster if they used their teeth. Very well. Take this to the quartermaster. With another salute, the sailors dashed aft, towards the tallest section of the ship's hull. The four of you follow, although more slowly. Arthur's head is on a constant swivel, taking in, say, the ship around him. The sailor returns, without the books or letters, and scarcely out of breath for his speed of his movements. Sir, the kedge is fast. Quartermaster recommends we catch the tide, sir. And cast it we shall. Have them hoist the flying jib, but keep it eased until I say so. When the sailor departs, Arthur strains up further. His head is held high, and although you see that his chest filled with deep breath, the loudness of his voice still takes you by surprise. All hands, stand to weigh anchor. It is clear, sharp bellow, and the crew snaps into action as if they were marionettes under his direct control. Cast off all lines. Arthur checks his immediate surroundings, which includes the three of you. Stay clear of the ladders. We'll have men moving about. Beyond that, watch and learn. Yes, sir. Although Julian and Wolf seem to know what's going on, you have to pay close attention to discern one bit of activity from any other. The crew are untying ropes that bound the Conways to the pier. You finally determine. Yet, others wait raptly, their attention focused on Arthur. Haul in the kedge? What is a kedge? Sorry, it's like, I'm a seaman, but, or was. I need to, like, I don't know what a ship is. Oh, is that just, oh, it's basically the anchor, I guess, that keeps a ship, like, away from shore. So you got the thing that's ties the ship to shore, and then another one that keeps the, ship slightly away from the docks. Huh. I did not know that. I mean, as far as I know, with, boats these days, they just put, like, humongous rubber tires or inflatable things between the boat and the dock. His head turns, and you follow the horse's attention to where sailors have taken position around the windlass. At first, as it starts to turn, you notice nothing. Then gradually, you perceive the shore receding from you as the ship's bow pulls away from shore. Oh, I guess that could also be a thing where it's like it pulls the ship away from shore. Today, if you please. It seems to have been directed to the maned wolf, supervising the windlass. He gives Arthur a salute. He said, haul in. Put your backs into it. If you want to stay ashore so much, jump ship. The crew are doing their best, although you can't tell if the man's exhortations are making a difference. The rest of us has places to be. Oh, hell, I'll show you lots. He joins them, his long legs straining for purchase on the deck. Good. Handsomely now. You wonder if you're about to be enlisted to help yourself, but Arthur seems satisfied with the change in progress. The dock is noticeably further away now, as a ship's crew pulls it into the harbor by the anchor's chain. Arthur's eyes flick from the windlass to the shore, narrowing at the direction of the rising smoke. Sheets in the jib. Yeah, I don't know all these things, but yeah, I guess I would say them. He pauses, his ears flicking around, of a shout from a further aft. He can't make it out, but the horse seems to have had no difficulty. He raises his voice again. All hands, man the lanyard, or haylards. Now, damn it. Brace the yards, and hoist the sail, Samuel. Stand by. Aye, sir. Leave the yards be. Get the bloody Stallies, damn you. Yeah, we're gonna just stay quiet. Because if he wants assistance, he'll ask for assistance. There's a bit of an edge in Arthur's voice, although you can't tell the reason. The crew respond nonetheless, moving around the ship's rigging as nimbly as a spider in the web. As you watch, the sails lift, catching the wind until the ropes snap taut. The ship is moving perceptibly faster now. Arthur's eyes are still narrowed, his attention focused on something he can't yet perceive. Mind the downhaul on the mizzen stalls. Ooh, Samuel, haul away. The main wolf and his crew on the windlass work with renewed effort. It seems at least to be easier. They're no longer pulling the ship, you realize. Conway is moving under her own power. Samuel just needs to raise the anchor as you pass over it. Good. Arthur relaxes and takes a deep breath. That you can see in the movement of his massive chest. He lifts his voice again. Keep the stallies sheeted in. He watches for another minute or so, then turns to the three of you. Well, you apparently can keep out of trouble. Let's see if you can be useful too. You're at positions 36 and 37, I believe. He points to you and Julian in turn. Stow your gear and report to Samuel. Be quick about it. Loading screen. Or something. Now, Wolf, it would seem, has already put away his belongings. You follow Julian, who seems to know where he's going. Do you understand what happens? How you move a ship, I mean. The orders? Of course. It's not too difficult. You have a hard time believing this, to be honest. Really? All the ropes and the anchors and everything? You understand how it works? Well, not all of it. Just think about it logically. It comes down to when the wind in the sails, right? I guess? And to point the sails into the wind, you pull on different ropes. If it's important, they'll teach us. With that, when winch the main wolf was running? The windlass? He looks around at the post, searching for where they were identified. What's a windlass? I think I might have used one, but for a different reason. Oh yeah, I have used a windlass before, but not for, you know, the thing that they're doing. What was I using? Shut up. He looks around at the post, searching for them. Identified. Here we go. Just put your bag here. You do as it says, though, and have to take Julian's own knowledge of the Conway on faith. Windlass. Yes. No. No? He gives you one of those airy, boyish smiles, as if it was the least meaningful thing in the world. The windlass is for the anchor. If the wind's not favorable, they set an anchor on the harbor mud and pull the ship into deep water that way. Simple. If you say so. He keeps making this pronouncement. You have a sense that, beneath his lackadaisical exterior, Julian is more complex than he lets on. More world-wise, despite himself. More than you, at least, for now. You file windlass away in your mind for later. Is that all we need to do here? Yep. So, let's get him back on deck before Wolf has a chance to turn that other dog against us. Shall we? He's a maned wolf. The two of you join Wolf, who seems to have been engaged in brief conversation with the maned wolf. Ah, Samuel. We were told to report to you. The maned wolf is leaning against the railing, the windlass now abandoned. He looks remarkably carefree, with an arm crooked around one of the ship's cables, and his foot propped up against one of the cleats. So I've been told, nothing like a bit of excitement in a voyage, eh? Was that exciting? He was expecting a pirate attack, I'm sure. No, I just didn't know what was happening. I thought I should ask Arthur, maybe. Mr. Hudson, sir? Or Mr. Hudson, sir. If that's his name. Oh, I figured you were new, but I didn't realize you were that new. The main wolf grins. He looks young. Not much older than yourself, really. Ooh, sorry. His grin, too, is youthful. But he's clearly an experienced member of the Conway's crew. Someone Arthur could really rely on. Despite the wicked easiness of his smile, he's turned on you. He chewed you out, then? If you were more charitable in describing it, you would think of Arthur as a stern father type. Samuel doesn't seem like that. Who's Arthur and Samuel? He's Samuel, right? But that just means you're even more conscious of your desire to make a good impression on him. I kept quiet. He seemed busy. He was, but it's nothing that adventurous anyway. A faster tide than the sailing master expected, that's all. He looks up at the masts, where most of the sails are neatly rolled up, furled, you know that much. Endless wind. It'll pick up when they're out of the lee of the harbor. That happens often? The wind's not doing what's expected of her all the time, but Hudson knows how to handle something like that. You'll figure it out too. In time. But we shouldn't be ready for pirates. No, but we shouldn't be ready for pirates then. No, our foes are far from the more crafty and tenacious. It's all but impossible to fend off their siege. He stretches out one of those long legs of his, nudging it against the deck. A constant battle, where no mere cutlass or cannon can aid you. It will be, of course, your most important task. Scrubbing the deck. You learn quick. He grins in a stoic, almost, although you imagine that, with his friends, it's not that rare. Realistically, yes, that's what we'll be spending your time doing. Welcome to sea. Though, it's not just the deck. Sheets need to be tarred, slushed. I never scrubbed the... Well, I do remember seeing people on the ship scrubbing the ship on the outside. If I had to do anything like that, it would just basically be mopping the inside of a ship. You know, in our workstation. Because, you know, you gotta keep clean and sometimes there ain't much to do. It's almost funny how little a ship actually wants to be at sea. Now, one of you is Julian, I'm told. Julian nods, straightening briefly to attention. Samuel points to you next. And you... Give me a sec. And you, what's your name? James. Well, I'll try to remember that, I guess. We will find uses for new hands like you, of course. You look at the deck, and then your eyes wander from the Conway's bowsprit back to the stern. Bowsprit? Sprit. Where you see Arthur in conversation with other officers. How much work will it even take to clean this whole thing on your knees? Oh, you'll be plenty busy. Don't worry. It's as if you guess what you're thinking. If you're smart, you'll have some alcohol to trade before someone hands you the bucket. But maybe that's just me. And you do have a sense of that. Young as he is, Samuel counts as being an old salt. The scar on his cheek, and some markings tattooed on his left wrist completes the picture. You'll learn that too. You nod and look around the deck of the ship, already trying to estimate just how long it would take to clean this thing on your knees. I already know. The others turn to look at Julian. When he speaks up, the lizard smiles. Who can I make... Who I can make work for me? I already know that. Ain't it so, Wolf? You better watch your tongue. Oh, that's right. The big bad wolf. He keeps that cheeky smile on full display. I'm just saying, that's all. Fast friends, him and I. Julian really does have no idea when to stop with the wolf. Samuel doesn't seem especially convinced by that explanation either. It wouldn't surprise you if the two ended up brawling by the end of the journey. From the moment, Wolf keeps his cool, but not the extent that he keeps himself from glaring daggers at Julian. You really are a nuisance, kid. We're. The maned wolf clears his throat. His lanky body does not project the same authority as Arthur, but he does manage to sound like a voice of wisdom. You two can continue the courtship on your own time. We're not courting. Fine, you can have the drunken brawl you're angling for on your own time too. I'd recommend you wait until after we get to harbor. That long? In a harbor bar, you might not be identified. Maybe you'll be really lucky, and will seal before anybody wants damages covered. His smile is hardened. You wonder where he got that scar, after all. But keep it off the ship, all the same. Unless you just like being whipped, in which case, don't let me stop you from getting in the way of a good time. I'm just trying to have a bit of fun, is all. We're gonna have to be friends. It's a small ship. A long way for you to swim back to shore, you mean? The snarl in his voice was not particularly subtle, but it mostly vanishes when he turns towards Samuel. He's not worth it. I know that. Don't worry. Good. Apparently, Arthur expects me to make sailors out of you. I'd really prefer not to look like I can't keep you from each other's throats for a full watch. He nods his long muzzle towards you. What about you? You have any smoldering passions you need to keep cool? Oh yes, rampant alcoholism. No sir. The maned wolf snorts. Don't call me that. I'll throw you overboard for grievous insults. Now, if you three need to be kept busy, I can certainly find ways to occupy your idle. He trails off as a noise coming from the stern catches attention. He follows his gaze to see someone leaning over the wooden railing. He's clutching the rope tightly to keep from going over. He recovers, though, strained up to emerge from behind the railing. You have a brief glimpse of a large, rounded ears before he disappears again. Samuel laughs once more, this time with a knowing chuckle. Well, looks like someone's having an even worse start to our trip than you, Wolf. Oh? He follows the direction of Samuel's gaze, and you'll watch the hapless man throw his body forward again, his fingers holding the rope in a death grip. This time, there's the unmistakable sound of retching. Oh, well, I don't know about that. I might take that if it meant we could lose some more unnecessary weight. Julian clasps a hand against his breast in faint shock. You wound me, Wolf. We've been getting along so well. If you don't shut up, I'll promise I'll do it for you. It's not entirely clear to you how much Wolf's attitude is theatric. Are they going to be banging later? I remember seeing like some kind of thing somewhere, but I'm not sure. It was like fan-made. So I'm not sure if it's canonical. Big stretch. What you do know is that he and Julian seem quite comfortable on the Conway, at least from a physical point of view. Neither of them have Samuel's relaxed stance, but Wolf hasn't even put a hand to steady himself on the ship, as the ship begins to rock, though the more substantial waves through the most substantial waves of the ocean. Should we try and help him? He's got big teeth, don't worry. No, him. You point to the unfortunate soul who's now leaning heavily against the railing for support. Having feared you might be susceptible yourself, it's hard not to feel a little sorry for him. Is there anything we can... I don't know... Can we help? Not really. Can't do much. Sometimes you just get caught by it. Ocean's not for everyone, that's for sure. He shrugs and turns away. Don't think he's anyone I know. Must be a passenger of some kinds. It'll pass, though. He'll have more room for dinner. Think of it that way. Samuel, you realize, must have seen more of a share of seasickness. Eager young men, like you, no doubt, discovering too late they're part of the main wolf's not for everyone. I suppose. What does it matter? I don't know. I just feel sorry for him. Well, go keep him company then. The rest of us have other things to do. You have work for us? We look to be already trimmed. Trimmed? What did I say earlier? Admiral's daughter, this one. Julian sighs, chew dramatically. Samuel ignores both of them. The ship's sails are properly set for the wind we have. We're close-hauled until we can turn southwards. Close-hauled, I think? You don't know what close-hauled means. Either. You open your mouth to ask, but Samuel shakes his head. The important thing is, I don't have work for you. Not now. But they'll ring the bell for dinner, soon enough. Ooh, it must be about time, I suppose. Sun's rather low. Indeed, we should all get ready for it. Consider yourselves dismissed. The wolf quietly turns away for a moment. He hears that you've been released, leaving the three of you behind. You're not certain what to make of him. Why go through the trouble of working at sea if you're going to be miserable? At least, the seasick passenger must have a designation in mind. Julian, watching Wolf step down the ladder into the bowels of the ship, seems to be thinking the same thing. Someone's hungry. Or someone hates your guts, though I can't imagine why. Why? Why is because he needs to lighten up a bit. Maybe. The main wolf flexes his fingers, then balls them into fists, and sucks Julian on the shoulder before he can dodge it. Ow! Stop that! What was that for? Curiosity? Oh, that did feel good. Julian rubs the sore spot on the shoulder, glaring at Samuel. Some of that seems to be genuine. The main wolf must have hit harder than you thought. You're saying I'm wrong? He doesn't need to light up? I'm saying I've known you for long enough to think you can definitely be a bit annoying. You've known me for 15 minutes. Like I said. Oh, not you too. Hey. With that prompting, Julian looks to you for approval. I'm siding with Samuel on this. I mean, it's not like he's not a jerk, but like, you know, his teasing might be a bit grating on some people. The strange wolf he is, he might have his reasons for the caginess. Even if he doesn't, you can hardly blame him for not wanting to deal with Julian. Blizzard acts like you're off on some boarding school camping trip, not a proper sailing vessel. At least, what you imagine a camping trip would be like, something a lot less serious than working aboard the Conway. You come on as a bit strong. Strong, huh? He's being diplomatic. Diplomatic? As in, it's a diplomatic way of saying annoying little shit, in the local dialect. Julian looks to you, as if expecting further explanation, but if he doesn't understand, why his antics would rub anyone the wrong way, you doubt you can explain it to him. He finally gives up, shoulders slumping in defeat. Fine, fine. He sighs and shakes his head. But he does need to stop being such a grump. Be that as it may, good behavior goes both ways. We're going to be stuck here for a while. You don't need to have to like each other, but you have to tolerate each other. I'm trying. Don't make me punch you again. Julian huffs dramatically. Everybody's got their own past, their own little quirks, and things they don't want to talk about. Things that can't be just left ashore, much as we'd prefer it. And you don't want to start off by antagonizing everyone. I'm not trying to antagonize people. Something about the way he responds gives you the impression it's probably a speech of a young man has heard once or twice before. Well, in that case, at least try to make your ribbing funny, just some advice. Oh, of course, there's so many people here, I can make pointers on that one, take pointers from that one. He shakes his head, but keeps a reasonably brave face. Alright, I won't antagonize him. Or you. And you won't punch me again, alright? Good lad. Stay on the wolf's good side. Or stay on the wolf's good side. Right? Let's go down and wait for dinner. You hungry? No wait, you're hungry, right? Julian looks at Samuel suspiciously for a few seconds before giving up. Yes, practically starving, now that you mention it. He looks in the direction of the ship's bell, like he could ring it. He could will it to ring sooner. And you haven't even done any work yet. He gives Julian another punch, although this one is much lighter, and to the other shoulder. I'm kidding. You should be excited, just for once. While we're close to port, we'll run out of fresh ingredients quickly, but for now. Oh, I know. Enjoy it while I can. You keep staring at the bell, though. I planned on it. Who knows when's the next good meal will come. Exactly. Bandili is one splendid cook. Oh, a guy's name. At least. That man could really make salt pork a royal feast if he had to. And he'll come close, even for us, when it comes to that. Yeah, the cook's very important on the ship. I can't wait. I'm sure we'll be eating hardtack soon enough. Hardtack being like really stale bread, made to, last long trips on the ship. Though, I think you, wet it with soup or something like that. Well, Baldale could almost make that edible, too. He pauses, then shrugs. Almost. Do you know what he's planning? I saw someone from the ship bustling about the shops near the docks. Probably Bado. Then, yes. I heard rumors that it could be salmon. Something of a speciality for him. Ooh, that sounds good. I'll never turn down fresh fish. That sounds good to you, too. Even growing up in a harbor town, the best fish was too expensive for a family like yours. Really? You wouldn't think fish in a fishing village would be expensive. From Samuel's hungry expression, was it that type of fish? Oh, the best fish was too expensive. I mean, well, yeah, one would have to suspect so. From Samuel's hungry expression, Badao has to be preparing something more exciting than some overboiled stew that barely does more than smell of fish. It does sound good. I can't wait to see what the cook can manage. He figured it would be a while before that smell would even be appetizing again. In any event, as far as appetite is concerned, you're still thinking about the seasick man. But I want to check on that passenger. Make sure he's not suffering too badly. Sure, suit yourself. Careful by the railings, though. I don't fancy a swim. And his physique doesn't exactly lend itself to the ocean, you suppose. which must be why he ends that with a wry grin. I will be. I'll be down in a moment. Leave some for me, will ya? No promises. It'll be your fault for being late anyhow. Despite the ribbing, you're pretty sure Julian and Samuel will ensure you don't go hungry. You watch them make their way down across the deck, following Wolf's footsteps, and disappearing below the ship's hull. You ascend the ladder, as Arthur called it, although it's more of a narrow staircase, nearly as steep as the ladder. Although you can't imagine trying to manage it on rocking deck. You just want to get a good look at this guy here. Because, oh yeah, we're over time. So, yeah, that's going to be the end of this quick look. Sorry. But yeah, what was the thing I was going to talk about? Oh yeah, like how as the thing would go on if you're like more than a couple of weeks at sea, like bananas would go, and then we would run out of milk, so you try to work, like, you know, have coffee, but with, you know, powdered stuff. But yeah, just looking at it, yeah, we've seen those characters. The only character that's on here that I haven't seen is some kind of, like, leopards or cheetah. Oh, cheetah. It says cheetah right there. Lady. And yeah, that's pretty much all the people that I've seen right there. So again, if you want to play this game, it's available free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go to Patreon, where it's $6 a month, but it seems like there's a first month discount of $3, you know? And yeah, if you want me to do a Let's Play series of this game, then tell me, and I'll give it a point which will put up higher on the user's choice list. I also have to remember to go through all the ones I've done and put them on my personal rankings of things, because, you know, I haven't been doing that for the past hot minutes. But, yeah, that's not over yet. If you want me to do a quick look of any other game, then tell me, and I'll put it on the quick look slot and give it a point which will put up higher on the user's choice list. But that's not going to be the end of this quick look just yet, because we still have to go and see what we're doing next, which will be number 1 again, and that's Devil's Gambit. A game, as that thing's loading, Devil's I'm gonna turn it down a bit. Yeah, about there. Devil's Gambit. A game about Devil's Gambit follows Hector, a badger healer, returning to a little town of Ranai, the birthplace of his fondest memories. He holds dearly his time with his mischievous yet friendly wolves, the stories they told, the fertile forests east of town, and the mist that heralded every sunrise. Most of all, he remembers Cadgan, a wolf a bit younger and smaller than himself, and an unrepentant troublemaker who left him a bundle of emotions. But that was 9 years ago, when he was just a teenager. Upon his return, Hector finds his town transformed by a new duke's reign, and a Cardgan that has grown into a cold, distant mountain of a man. He works as a healer and regains a long-forgotten passion. Hector notices something other than love in the air. The tree roots stir with his every step. Okay. Well, yeah, that's it. So if you want to play this other game, it's free on itch.io, but if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go to their Patreon, where Latest build is $3 a month. Now I just want to also check Conway again. Yeah, I really need to keep an eye on these things because, like, I think I said that a previous video, I think it was like Bang Bang, it's like, this has its, you know, updates and stuff like that, but then I've had multiple people be like, man, it sucks that this game is no longer in production. It's like, oh, okay. Well, it do be like that. Sometimes. Anyways, until next time, another quick one. Me, GamerWolfSix, some other furry game. That being this one. So, thanks and see you.